It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day 2016. Whoops. I'm a little scruffy and my throat is a bit sore this morning because we were out doing karaoke till 2 o'clock this morning. But it's a nice day, so I've come down to the allotment to do some work. It's been very windy and wet over the last few weeks. The river outside our house has been flooded and a lot of wind, which has brought down, well, I suppose high pruning, I think we'll call that, but it's also brought down the nest box. So I've got two tasks. First thing to do is one, put this one up, and then I had a housewarming gift from my ex-flatmates. Got to put this up for the solitary bees, so I think I'm going to put this on the side of the shed where it's going to be a little warm but not too windy and out of the way. This one's definitely sturdy. I'm not sure about this one, it's quite heavy, but maybe some shelter. South is, where are we? So that way. So it's going to get some warmth. It's going to get some shelter from this. Hopefully that'll be alright, at least for a year or so. Right, what's next? I'm going to pick up that tree that's over there. And then we've got potatoes to chit. Oh crikey, that's heavier than I thought. I think we might have to do this in two goes. I think I'll need my saw for this one. It's just a little more dense and heavy than I thought. Right, saw time. Well yes, when you break it down like this, carve it like a chicken, you can see it's actually a bit bigger than I thought. Right, I can go over there. Now last year the most rewarding thing I grew were potatoes. Alright, there were two things, potatoes and peas. They were the most rewarding because you can't beat fresh peas. And Pentland javelins I got last year, those are going to go in again. They were great. And I had Maris pipers, if you remember, in the hugelkultur bed, but I'm going to change that this year and go for King Edwards. So these are these are Pentland javelins, so they're going to go out first, and then about 2 or 3 weeks later King Edwards are going out. But first of all we're going to chit them, which means I'm going to put them in this tray, and then we're going to put them in a sunny place in the greenhouse so they can get the little eyes going before we stick them out in the ground. We've got a few eyes coming through there, so we'll make sure those are uppermost. And then we go, they can go on the, oh it's echoing in here isn't it? They can go on the shed shelf, that's difficult to say. Last year, you may remember, I collected egg boxes for weeks and weeks and weeks to put these in, you know, so you can put them with the eyes uppermost, but this little tray is much better. It's quicker to put the potatoes in and turn them around, and it's easier so they don't fall over, and also because it's got air holes everywhere, you get the air circulating, they're not going to rot. So I hope that's going to be dry enough, certainly going to be warm and sunny enough. Right, on to the next job. Let's scrap that. Still going to do the potatoes. I watched a video yesterday of Monty Don preparing seeds, and he put them on a window, much like I've done with the potatoes, but he put a backing of aluminium foil and cardboard to get more light on them. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I brought aluminium foil with me just to do the seeds later this month. But I put, can you see, it's like, you ready for baked potatoes? Layer of foil behind them, so that's going to reflect more sun on them and more heat. I should say I've put the sacks that the potatoes came in underneath, just at the front here, just to keep the moisture away from the end of here, but also so I can tell what they are. But the King Edwards are easy to tell because they've got sort of pinky purpley sprouts on them. The Pentland javelins, white ones, you can just about see that. So yeah, I'm going to put another layer of foil on this one, and then we can go to the next thing. So the ply's looking pretty good. Fluff. I'm going to dig it over now. Now I've dug down, I'm going to dig it over. This is pretty well manured, this is from last year. So I'm just going to dig that over. I think I'm going to put onions and garlic here this year. I put onions over there, it was too damp, they died. I put garlic here, which had overwintered. they'd been moved, so they weren't too happy, so I think that's why they died. So I've got 2 cloves of elephant garlic, that's new for me, and then the onions. So I'm going to dig this bit and plant those, so I've got something in the ground today. What else is in the ground? I'm going to check on the bluebells are doing well. If you remember, they were yellow a couple of weeks ago. They're greening up and coming up. And primroses here. Also dug a lot of weeds out of here, so I'm hoping they're going to dominate that place. It's really slippy. This is the plastic is still down to keep the weeds down. And the daffodils I planted at the end of last year. I remember one came up over Christmas, and it's being followed up by these, and we've got some more bulbs down there in the wildflower patch. It's all starting to happen, all starting to grow. There's no putting off. Gotta get some forking. So these are Centurion F1 onions, and I've spaced them out. I've got about 40 or 50 of them. So they go 5 inches apart, 1 inch down, so that's 3 centimeters, 12 centimeters in new money. The ground's not doing too badly. It's kind of clay down this side, but it's in the old carrot bed where I dug in a load of sand, so that's a bit more free draining, and I'm hoping you can see the sunlight, even though it's sort of springy, wintry time. Sunlight will do much better for them than they did over there in the shade and the damp. So we'll get these in, and then I've got garlic to go in. But only 2 cloves this year, because they're very big cloves. Look at the size of those. So those are going to go in next door, it's like companions. Keep them happy. Right, a little troweling, I think. You know, they weren't joking when they said it was giant garlic. Look at the size of that. I do hope this is going to grow. This is going to be brilliant. So it likes free draining soil, so we're going to put it in the old carrot bed, which is kind of sandy, but it's still a bit clayey, a bit gooey, but we have had a lot of rain, so I'm hoping it's going to be dry and good enough for these things. So I'm going to get 2 of these. I get 2 of these in the pack, and it was £2.99, so it's not cheap. But this is starting to, you can start to see these in supermarkets now. It's starting to take off. I've not tried it myself. It doesn't smell of garlic at the moment. So yeah, it's a bit of an experiment. We'll see how we go. It's always good to try new things. Look at the size of that. So these go about 1 inch deep, 3 centimeters deep, and 10 centimeters apart. So it's about that. This is probably going to be my smallest vegetable row in the garden. They're pretty good on their own. You know what, if nothing else, if they don't grow, I don't mind, because it's just funny seeing them in the ground like that. They're enormous. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. I hope they do. I really hope they do. So yes, think good, happy, growing thoughts. Right, so that's, you can't see it now. You dig these things and you can't see them. Onions in there, garlic in there. Last year's leeks, which my friend gave me, I'm just going to leave them still. We're going to see if they come up. I think that's pretty much it for the day. Let's have a quick looky round. I've got the green manure. You know, it's not the best in the world, I think. I don't think I'd do it again. It worked really well up there, but not so much down here. I've got the lavender, which I cut back at the end of last year. It's starting to green up. And the rosemary, obviously it's overwinters, that's sad and depressed. Poor rosemary. Got quite a few twigs and trees down, spoil heap from over there. So the plans, you know, smooth this out, dig in the poo, wait till summer. And over in this corner, you don't see this corner very much. This is the new Google culture bed. It's actually a trash pile still. So this is where I'm putting all the all the twigs and trees and things I'm cutting down. This is a pear tree which was hidden away and a bit damaged, so I'm hoping to bring that back into service, which means I'm going to cut this down. I think that might be my last job before I go. I'm just going to trim this down before it gets too leafy, and that'll let me get at the roots next time. I've got this big thing to pull up as well, just to square this off, but that's, you know, that's weeks down the line. Well, thank you for joining me, and thank you again for your comments. You're really nice, and hello to new subscribers. It's nice to see you. You know what? I think in maybe 1 or 2 video thingies time, we might do a Q&A. So if you start thinking of Q&A, start posting me stuff, and we'll have a sit down, have a cup of tea, and we'll talk about it. The rabble have arrived, so it's time to go. Nice quiet Sunday. Chopped out that tree. I think I might have found another pear tree, but we'll see when it starts to come into leaf. I think it's best time to cycle off home now. So I'll see you next time. Bye.